Are you ready for school? Georgia, are you ready for school? Are you ready for school? Are you ready for school? Pretty girl, let me see. Turn around. I want to see. Are you ready for school? Let's see. Do the turn. Do the turn. Keep turning. Keep turning. Keep turning. There you are. Good job. Look, are you going to school? School? Yes. Are you going to have a good day? I can't hear you. Good day. Okay. I love you. I'll see you after school, okay? Give me a high five. That's a low five, but I'll take it. Say bye, everybody. Say bye. Okay.
Today, we have our first guest here, and I want to introduce you to a lady that I met recently within the last month that has a story that was I really wanted to hear more about this story, so I invited her on the show so that she'll be able to share with us some of the things that occurred throughout parenthood for her daughter, Georgia. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good,
Thank you for having
good.
me.
And could you share with everybody your name and
My name is LaShawn Toney. My daughter name is Georgia. She is 14 years old and she suffers from autism.
okay. So before we get into that story, could we back it up a little bit and start before your daughter came into the world, and
Yes,
kind of give us a little spill of your
absolutely.
life and things that you did prior.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Before my daughter Georgia, I have four other children. At the time, was married. We were just living life in general, just as anyone else would do. Of course, you have your challenges with your kids. My boys, Garen and Garrison, they had ADD at the time, so I was kind of dealing with that, having IEPs at school and making sure they were on the right medication for their ADD. So it was something that was pretty much a lot of people was aware of that was happening with kids with ADD. So it wasn't anything that was unusual or wasn't known. It was ADD is out there, so which is an attention deficit disorder. So it was hard for them to focus or concentrate in school. So I was dealing with that, but other than that, it was just normal life. Teenagers. My husband and I have been married for at that time probably about 15 years or so. We've been together for a long time, but we were just a regular, normal family, just going through life and trying to get through working every day, just experiencing life, taking it for what it was.
Okay.
hmm
So what were some of the things prior to Georgia? What were some of the things that you guys love to do as a family?
Oh gosh, take trips, Disneyland, Magic Mountain, uh, family night, far as games, just going out to the park, movies, just typical family things. I love to cook, so after my older two moved out of the house, it was hard to not cook those big meals because you were
hmm
used to it. So I had a lot of leftovers all the time, but
hmm
just doing a lot of family things, hanging out with the family, and just typical family stuff, movie night, things like that.
Okay.
hmm
Okay. So going past that, in your professional career, what was it that you? What was your?
My husband pretty much worked outside the home. He worked in the paint industry.
hmm
I was going to school and working. I used to work for a bank, and I was going to school for dental assisting. And once I finished with that, I went back to school to do medical assisting, which I did graduate as a certified medical assistant. However, I found out later it wasn't something that I really wanted to keep going with, so I gravitated more towards children. So I actually ran an in-home daycare for about 10 years.
Okay, that's good.
So it was challenging in itself, because I did daycare for not just normal kids, but also mentally challenged kids.
Oh, I got you.
I loved it. It was great. I was open 23 hours a day,
Oh,
7 days a week.
Oh,
Can't
wow.
say my husband loved it, but it was great.
So a lot of patience.
Oh
basically,
yeah,
a lot of
oh
patience.
yeah. It was awesome. Yeah.
Great.
hmm
So then, as we come to the moment where Georgia came into the world, can you share with us the story starting from then to now, present day?
Absolutely. So with my other four children, my oldest is a girl, Shayna, and then I have three boys after her. So I really wanted another girl so bad. I loved the little something about the little girls. Not that I didn't already have one, because my daughter, I love her to death, but um, she grew up pretty fast, and I was young when I had her. So sometimes when you're that young, you don't realize what you have. You don't really appreciate it as much as you should have. So I wanted another opportunity at having that little girl. So um, we were blessed. It was pregnant, and I found out it was a little girl, and we were just over the moon. It was like God really did hear me. He answered my prayers. I finally got that little girl I was hoping for. So when my daughter was born, I got a phone call when she was probably about a week old, and I was told that she has cystic fibrosis. And I think my life stopped there. Like, it changed drastically. Um, I didn't know anything about cystic fibrosis, didn't know what it was, had no clue. My first question was, is she going to die? Because I didn't know what it was. So immediately the research began, and trying to figure out what this was, what we were going to do. Cystic fibrosis is actually a disease that attacks all their major organs. There's no cure. At the time, life expectancy was probably, I think, 38. Back in the day, they didn't live past the age of 10. So it is evolving. The research is getting better at finding a cure and prolonging their life. So she's doing good right now, but little did I know at that time autism was right around the corner. So she was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2. And I don't want to tell too much about it, but with the book, but yeah. So autism was her second diagnosis.
Great. And so when you found out that with the diagnosis, how did that affect the family?
Ooh, of autism or cystic fibrosis? Autism. Autism. It's. I knew, having 4 kids before her, I knew something was wrong. Something was different about her. She wasn't meeting certain milestones. Things weren't happening. So when we found out about autism, I was floored. I could not tell you. I must have went into a dark place, because it just really impacted me. But I was worried, because I thought the family would look at her different. They would treat her different, but they absolutely did not. They embraced her. They loved her. It was like, to them, it was just, it's my sister. And so that was a blessing, in itself, just them accepting her and willing to just do whatever they had to do to help me out, or, as a family, we came together.
How would you define the word autism?
Autism is basically a serious developmental disorder that affects the brain. It affects their ability to communicate. It impairs their ability to interact. And it's also known as the spectrum, which is a very wide range, ranging from moderate to severe. My daughter is severe, which means she's nonverbal. which means she can't independently care for herself. So I always say I had to become Georgia to understand Georgia, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does. So can you share some specific experiences that highlight both the obstacles you've encountered and the moments of personal growth that you experienced while raising your daughter?
Absolutely. One obstacle I can remember right off the bat is that when I spoke about before about realizing something was different about my daughter, something was just not right. I took her into CVRC to have her evaluated, and CVRC is Central Valley Regional Center. So I took her in there to have her evaluated to see why she was not meeting those milestones and why she was not pushing up. When I stand her up, her legs would fold. You know, I just knew something was not right. They did evaluate her, and they told me that, oh, she's just a little delayed. She'll catch up. You know, it was nothing to worry about. Deep down inside, I knew something else was, that was not right. I knew something else was wrong, but at that point, there was nothing I could do. I took her home. I continued with my life. Down the road, I can still see that she was just not progressing. She wasn't there. She wasn't trying to walk. She wasn't, it was just, I knew that I needed to take her back. So probably within about a year, I took her back, and they evaluated her again, and they actually thanked me for not giving up and bringing her back, and that's when she was diagnosed with autism. So that was an obstacle I felt that I overcame, and I felt like for me as a parent that was growth, knowing that I didn't give up, knowing that I fought for her, because if I wouldn't have went back, we would have never found out, or you know, how long would it have went on, and she would have gotten worse without knowing what the problem was. So that was an obstacle, definitely. I can say that that was challenging for me. Another one real quick is being in hospitals, doctor's offices with an autistic child that may be sick is very challenging.
Yes.
I've done that many times. I mean, can you imagine already being in a hospital or ER or doctor's office with a sick child, let alone autism? They're not patient. So I've been in several situations to where my daughter is tantruming or screaming or tearing up the hospital, you know, because she does not want to be there, or because, you know, they're taking too long. So over time, you know, talking with patient representatives and telling them, trying to raise awareness for her and trying to say, hey, this is what we're experiencing as parents with autistic kids. You guys got to do something about this. Not taking away from the kids that are actually sick or that are there as well, but my daughter is autistic. It's a little different. We have to move quickly, you know. So I feel like me doing that, and hopefully other parents doing that, there has been some changes, you know, at the hospital, at Valley Children's Hospital, far as the George's Law, which is not named after my daughter. It's named after George the giraffe, which is the mascot. So with the George's Law, you have to let them know once you get there that your child is, you know, part of George's Law because of their autism, and they should be able to move in front of the line or move them in very quickly, so you won't have those experiences. So not just an obstacle for me as a parent. I felt like that was growth, but growth in the community, the autism community. I felt like that was growth in itself.
And as far as, you know, with the doctors and everything at the hospitals and everybody that's associated with you,
Yeah.
Did you feel like things were should I say, you felt confident on what they was doing? You felt safe on what the answers they was giving back to you? How did you feel, you know, as far as them, you know, reaching out and providing the care for your daughter?
Far as when we're at the hospital or
Yeah, when you.
I feel like they sometimes are not, they hear me but they're not listening, if that makes sense.
No,
I feel like they hear me, but they're not listening. So sometimes I have to ask them to. I remember saying it plenty of times. Like, I need you guys to hear us. We want to be heard. So I think eventually, I keep saying this over and over. The more that we put it out there, the more that we say it, the more they'll hear us, the more they'll understand. So I feel like we're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. And I feel like there are doctors out there that do hear us, but very few. So we have to keep doing this so we can keep reaching more and more.
How does that affect you mentally? When you go to a doctor and you're screaming, you're saying, hey, 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 boom, 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 boom. How does that affect you mentally?
It's mentally draining. It's mentally draining, but the adrenaline is going. My motivation is my daughter. Even though she's the one turning over trash cans and pulling IVs out and tearing up the room, she does not understand what she's doing. So it motivates me to speak up for her. Now, when I get home and this is all over, that's a different story. It's like, I'm exhausted. I'm mentally and physically drained. I'm mentally and physically exhausted. So there's many nights of just laying there awake and crying and just tired of it all, and just wanting people to have more empathy and wanting people to really understand what we were going through as a family and as a mom. It's hard when your daughter is acting in that manner and you're used to making things better as a mom. I can't make this better, and that was difficult.
Have you ever felt defeated?
Absolutely. Every day. Every day. It's always a challenge. There's never not a challenge with Georgia. Every day there's some type of defeat, but you got to get back up. Exactly. You got to keep going. And she is my motivation. I love her, and just like I said yesterday, I will not stop. I will keep advocating for not just my daughter, for other kids, and for all of us moms that, need to be heard.
How has faith been in your journey?
Oh, it's been tested. It has absolutely been tested. There's times and moments that I felt like I was raised in the church, Pentecostal, dresses every day, skirts every day, firm believer in God, still do, never lost that. However, I was angry at him, angry at God. There was times I felt like I hated my daughter. There was times when I felt like I hated myself. I was angry at God. How could you do this to me? All I asked for was a daughter, and this is what you give me? I don't deserve better than this. I was angry. And that's because I was not educated. That's because I didn't know what I was dealing with. I went to dark places. I felt like, should I get in the car and just drive away and not look back? I'm tired. I can't do this. I know I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore, But as time went on and I started to dive in and educate myself and be there for my daughter, and family support was everything. If it was not for my husband and for my kids and for my family having my back and being there for me, jumping in, taking over whatever they could do, I probably would have gotten in that car and drove away. But family support was everything. And as we went on, I found out it wasn't myself that I hated. It was not my daughter that I hated. It was autism that I hated. I was not angry at God. I wasn't mad at God, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been where I was at that moment. He's the one that's been guiding me and carrying me on this journey. So it took me to go through that to realize what a special gift in Georgia I really have.
That's awesome. Very awesome.
Thank you.
Can you discuss the resources, the therapies or practices that been the most beneficial for your daughter's development and overall quality of life?
Absolutely. I just spoke of this, but one resource I have to make clear is family. My family was a great resource for me in the developmental for my daughter. Because of their support, I was able to do the things I needed to do for her and for myself. CARD, which is Central Autism and Related Disorders, is her therapy. I went through several therapies and several centers and things like that before I actually found CARD. And they have been absolutely amazing for my daughter. They really try to accommodate us as a family, as far as her going to the center, them doing therapy in the home, whatever they can do. They work with me as a parent on what I can do to make things better for us at home with Georgia, as far as, what can we do to control the screaming? Because it's not going to stop. She's not going to just all of a sudden not be autistic. Mm-hmm. We have to learn how to deal with certain things in the home, in the community, with an autistic child. So that's what they teach me, and that's what they come in the home, and we have meetings, and they really care, and that plays a big part. Her doctor, Dr. Haley Nelson, is amazing. She's at Valley Children's, and she's with the Charlie Mitchell Clinic. Very amazing with children with autism. I love them. Anything she could refer her to, she listens. She's one of those that listen, and she gets
That's
it,
awesome.
and she wants to help. So she's one of the resources as well. So we've been blessed.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what are some of the good things about Georgia? What does she like to do?
Oh my gosh, she's such a diva. She is such a diva. Georgia wants things done her way, and that's it. Mm-hmm. She's not really into a lot of things, far as dolls and things like that. Like, I want for play with this doll. I'm trying to push dolls and all this other. Yeah. She's like, no. All she wants to do is play on her tablet. She's really into music. Thanks to her brother, she loves rap. I don't know why she just will not listen to the clean versions, so has to be the dirty versions. Mm-hmm. So Georgia's really into music, very musically inclined. Now I just figured out that she loves books. She loves to be read to. I try to stop because I'm like, Georgia, I've read 2 chapters, and she's like, read to me. So she loves to be read to. Mm-hmm. She loves to sit on the couch and demand people to do things for her all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's what she does with autism. So we're trying to teach her that it's okay. You can get up and go get your own apple juice. You can do things for yourself. So that's what we're trying to teach her too, is that it's okay. You can get up and, do it yourself. You got this. She get mad sometimes, but Georgia is a diva. She's fun to be around. She's really a sweet girl, but she has her moments, just like any other, kid. And she doesn't like for us to yell at her brother. She'll let us know, it's my brother. Don't touch the dog. Don't yell at the dog. Don't yell at my brother. So, but I love her to death.
What's that one meal that she just, Mama, I like this?
Oh, it used to be really bad back in the day. I think back in the day it was mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese?
It hasn't changed, but she's added a couple of things. Mm-hmm. So I think her go-to is like spaghetti.
Oh,
in the morning, oatmeal. She don't want nothing else. She'll wake up with one eye open, saying oatmeal. So I have to make sure her oatmeal is ready. Have to make sure I have spaghetti. Do not run out of spaghetti and oatmeal. You'll be in trouble. Her main thing all day is apple juice, Capri Suns type juices. She loves juices, so yeah, she's not as picky as she used to be. So she's that hungry teenager. So now I have 2 in the house. So.
Any upcoming family adventures?
Not really. We were hoping to try to go to Disneyland in the summer, but we'll see. I've taken her there before, and she loved it, but Georgia's a little older now, and she knows what she wants, so I don't want to get somewhere and she's like ready to go, and it's like we're in the middle of the ocean on a ship, or we at Disneyland, so I have to be careful. But family events, we try to keep it simple with her, but we have a couple of things we want to do, so we'll see.
I see she got her own YouTube.
She does.
Talk to me about that.
So her YouTube, I started doing probably a couple of months ago after the book came out. But it's called Georgia's Journey, and I just pretty much document our journey every day. Of course, she's not that little girl anymore, but our journey will never end. So I wanted to document as they read the book, they can also see things I speak of, in the book. And when I talk about those screamings and screeching and tantrums and all that kind of stuff, I want them to be able to, because you could read it, but when you actually see it, it's totally different. So my YouTube channel is just documenting her going to school and documenting her in therapy, sometimes at home, and showing her around her family, and it's amazing. I love doing it. I think she loves the camera too. Her brothers are telling her that she's bougie now. So I'm like, leave her alone. She's fine. But so it's fun to do. I kind of take the weekends off sometimes because I am still a mother. I'm still a wife. I still have a teenage son. So I do want to devote some attention to them, on the weekend. But I try to do her channel Monday through Friday for sure. And I'll post some little clips here and there on Saturday, but Sunday strictly none. I take it off.
Gotcha. So, what advice would you offer to parents who suspect that their child may have autism or have received a diagnosis in terms they're advocating for their kids' needs and seeking appropriate support? What kind of advice would you give them?
Don't accept no for an answer. Don't give up. Don't accept no. You're going to be turned away. You're going to hear no so many times. Just remember who you're advocating for. Remember whose voice you're speaking up for, and that's your child. They need us. Do not give up. Don't stop fighting. And mainly, take time for yourself. Because if you're not your best self, how can you be your best self for your child? Take some time for yourself. Whether it's going to get your nails done, whether it's go get your hair done, whether it's sit on the patio with a cup of coffee and read a book. Whatever the case may be, where you could just take some time for yourself. It took me years to learn that because I was just running on fumes. But I had to start taking care of myself, because how am I going to take care of my family or my daughter if I'm running on fumes? I have nothing left. So it's very important that we find that support as well, whether it's in a family member, whether it's in a support group, whether it's talking to someone, a friend, or reaching out to me. I'll listen, just to listen. And a lot of times people don't want to hear advice. They just want someone to just listen. Correct. And sometimes we have to just listen. So that would be my advice. Just don't give up. Take time for yourself. Don't take no for an answer. And just keep advocating for your child. Just remember who you're advocating for. They need us. We are their voice. We are their voice.
Now, when you mentioned about support groups, do you belong to any support groups?
I did, which is called Parents Unlimited. I don't know if they're still around, but they were an amazing support group for me at the time. I met a lot of friends through there, which I still am connected with to this day. I don't have a support group right now. I think I am becoming the support group, and I don't mind that. I'm okay with that, because I've been doing this for 14 years, and there's probably parents out there with autistic kids that have been doing it longer than me, and and that's okay. But I think I'm at a good place now where I have been helping other parents, and I have been helping other people with autistic kids or that's out there, and doing this is what makes me happy. Doing this is therapeutic for me, because I want to share my story. I want to share what I know to help other parents. So when they reach out to me, I'm bad. I have to help everybody. I can run across 10 stories in 10 minutes, and I will try to do everything I can do to help all 10 of those stories. It's like I want to help everybody. And my husband always tell me, you can't help everybody. Yes, I can. I got this. So I think I've became that for other parents, and I'm okay with that.
And speaking of stories, I mean, other than this show right here, I see you on quite a bit of coverage
Absolutely.
with the news.
Hmm.
I think you had an interview with, um,
Mexicana 100.3.
correct.
Yes, I did. I was featured on Channel 30.
Hmm.
I also have had a book signing already. I will hopefully be having another one with Barnes and Noble. I will keep you guys posted, but I also was on the Spanish radio station. I think it's 100.3 Mexicana with Ponce.
Hmm.
I think his name is Trey Ponce or something like that. I'm so sorry
Okay.
if I got that wrong, but it's on my Facebook.
Hmm.
The interview is on there. So my book will also be out in Spanish because of that, and I'm
That's
so excited
awesome.
about that. Uh, yes, I'm so excited, but have a lot more coming up, and I
Hmm.
can't wait to share. So excited. It's just having the platforms to, like I said, speak of autism and raise awareness for us parents and kids means the world to me.
Now, when you mentioned your daughter's YouTube channel,
Hmm.
where can someone see this?
YouTube, you just, if you type in Georgia's Journey, it should come up. Hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. And
Now, there's a specific way of saying Georgia.
Georgia, sorry, it's Jorgia. I know I spelled it weird, but it was for a reason. See, it worked out.
Hmm.
But yeah, Georgia, Jorgia, which stands for Journey of a Real Gift Inside
There
Autism.
you
And I know we're
go.
going to get there. We haven't talked about the book yet, but I jumped the gun.
That's okay, no.
But yeah, Georgia, yes.
That's awesome.
Georgia's Journey
Hmm.
on YouTube. Hit subscribe, follow our journey. You will not be disappointed. Georgia is a true character, and um, our days are so different. Even though they are the same, they're different. You know, autistic kids have to follow a certain routine. So if they break that routine, oh, all hell breaks loose. But we try to keep the same routine every day. But you do find on our channel that, um, there's times when I have to take her to school or pick her up, or doctor's appointments or dentist appointments, or different things like that that happens through our day. So you guys click on there and subscribe and follow us, and
Hmm.
enjoy our journey.
The book.
The book.
Tell us about that.
So do you mind if I grab it? So this is the book, and it's called Journey of a Real Gift Inside Autism. The title represents my daughter's name, which is Georgia, Jorgia, which stands for Journey of a Real Gift Inside Autism. Even though it's my daughter's name, it could represent anyone's journey. So that's why I created the Georgia gear that you see here, because it literally can represent anyone's journey. So we do have the T-shirts, we do have the um, um, hoodies, we have the hats, and I have the online store, which you can go and purchase. It's at uh, I can't think of the name
It's okay.
now.
We'll provide.
Yeah.
We'll provide that.
Yeah. So I do have the online store, which will get the link for you to be able to go on there and purchase the gear. But the book, I wrote the book, as I said before, to raise awareness not only about autism, but what we go through behind closed doors. And I wanted to do this book after going through so much with my daughter, having the experiences that I go through, the challenges that I faced every day with her, the dark places that I went to, talk about it in the book, and just us as a family, what we've been through, and that's why I wrote the book. And I wanted to reach as many people as I can, to get the book and read about our journey. And that's why I said, as you read, you follow the journey on YouTube. You're able to see some of the things that I speak of, in the book, because the older she get, those tantrums, they're no longer tantrums. They turn into rages. So we're talking about a large 14-year-old that's coming at you swinging. Like, what do? You know, you can't fight her back. You know, you just have to kind of roll with the punches and do everything you can to calm her down and to, and it's very difficult. So I wanted to share my story, and at first I thought I'm alone out here, and what I feel about my daughter and how I feel, is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. What we feel is valid, and I've said it before. We have a right to feel that way because of what we go through, It's and I wanted other parents to know that. I wanted them to know what you feel is valid. It's okay, We go through so much, and we have a right to feel that way. And I wanted them to know that they are not alone, like I thought I was alone. They're not alone. We all have the same diagnosis, but we all experience different journeys, different challenges every day, but we are not alone. So us as a community, we're better together. We have to come together. We have to support each other. We have to be there for each other. We have to continue to talk and spread the word. We're better in numbers than by ourselves.
That's it right there.
Thank you.
Oh, it's incredible.
Thank you.
Because, I feel if I was in your spot, I would probably mentally break down.
Oh, absolutely.
And it takes a lot of, like I said, it takes a lot of support.
Patience.
A lot. You just don't understand how much support really makes you a better person,
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, and with that, and I do agree with you with doctors and specialists,
Yes.
Sometimes it can be very difficult
Absolutely.
to make them understand.
Absolutely.
And
with this book, I wanted to raise more awareness for us parents because of that. We have to have more empathy as a community. I ran into someone that told me, oh, I was working out at the gym one day, and I was on the treadmill, and I was next to this guy, and he's told me he had a son with autism, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, and it was really I didn't think nothing of it, is what they told me. After reading my book, they wish they had that opportunity back because of now you understand what we go through, the empathy. If she had that moment back, what would she say? What would she do? So it's the reason why I wrote the book. We have to have more empathy, and not just empathy, but change our perspective at the way we look at things and the way we view things, the way we see people. I remember before my daughter seeing people in the stores and their kids are screaming and falling out and crying, and I'm like, oh, he just need a spanking, or, oh, he just need a timeout, or, she just need to take him and leave. Like, we don't want to hear that. That was me. But now, after having my daughter, totally changed my perspective. Now when I go into a store, or now when I see that out in public, ma'am, do you need any help? Are you okay?
Exactly.
Is there anything I could do to help you? Totally different perspective. I can't judge someone. I can't say that because I don't know what they're going through, or what the situation may be. Offer your help. Be empathetic. Sorry, I had to say that.
No, that's, what, it's true.
Yes.
It's true.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't know about autism.
Right.
And education
Absolutely.
is needed. Resources are needed.
Absolutely.
And even for myself, me looking from the outside.
Right.
I don't know what's going on.
Right. You don't know.
And I'm the person that would be quick to judge.
Right.
Until you actually there and experience it.
Absolutely.
And feel it and understand it.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think the awareness for it, not for just you in particular,
Absolutely.
but for us as well.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%.
So I really do thank you for being on the show.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I so appreciate it. And it's called Big Cartel.
Okay.
Yes, it is. It came to me, sorry. But it's called bigcartel.com is where you can find the gear. Okay. Thank you so much, Terrell, for the opportunity.
Thank you.
I just hope that I do my job justice and my daughter justice and do what we have to do. Because my biggest thing is I don't want to let anyone down. So I just want to make sure I'm there, to support anyone that needs support or just needs someone to talk to, reach out to me, and I'm there.
And before we close, real quick, you know, when I met you and you know we talked and everything, and again, as I'm saying, for myself,
Yes.
not knowing what autism is,
Right.
so I had to find out exactly
Right.
what it is.
Okay.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's a whole new perspective. It's
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you really have to respect
Mhm.
the things that you go through
Right.
emotionally,
Mhm.
mentally, physically,
Oh yeah.
for your family.
Mhm.
So it's just much respect for
Thank
what
you.
you're doing
Thank you
as
so
a
much.
mother,
Thank you so
as a
much.
wife.
Thank you so
And I
much.
thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. Now an author, right?
Author too. Author
Right.
too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much. God bless.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.